Broncos country. There wasn't any notes today on practice, but there was the first initial depth chart released by Sean Payton and our Denver Broncos. And of course, per usual, Sean Payton absolutely trolls us on it, just throwing the rookies, the young players down on the depth chart. So in today's live stream, I'm going to go through fixing this depth chart because Sean Payton, I love you, man. But I feel like sometimes you treat us like we don't got any brains. Like we don't hear, like we don't see what's going on with how these reps are being divvied up. What is the harm in just calling a spade, man? I love Sean Payton. Sean Payton, I love you, man. But you got to stop trolling us. You got to stop trolling us. And so we're going to get into it, Broncos country. So smash that like, subscribe. We're on our way to 3K before the start of the season and join the chat. We already got some fellow people in here. That's right. T Fish is here for the troll while on a stroll. Beautifully said. Respect my coach saying, yes, Harvey's a bust. I know. We got to fix that. And then lastly, we'll get into it, man. It's not a troll. He does that every rookie. They have to earn their spot. If anyone's drawing it, it's the guy who made this headline in the video. I'm sorry, man. I just see like, hey, you're giving RJ Harvey first team reps. What you doing? Throwing him on the bottom of the depth chart. He's already earned a better spot than the fifth string. So we're going to go through this, and I'm going to offer some corrections with what the real depth chart looks like based on like what we've heard throughout training camp so far. So this should be fun. Appreciate you, T Fishers, Respect My Co's, and Brooklyn official music for chiming in. And this is going to be fun. So we're going to start here. This right here is the depth chart that Sean Payton and the Broncos have put out. Now, there are a few things that I want to call out here. A lot of fun things. First off, there was one rookie who was slotted in their right position, and that was our franchise punter, Jeremy Crawhaw. That's right. No other punter on the roster, but that doesn't matter. Jeremy Crawhaw, he is our starting punter and holder. That's interesting to watch how that operation looks, having a new holder this year. Of course, Mitchell Fabroni is back. Will Lutz doing his thing. But Jeremy Crawhaw rightfully put in the right spot by Sean Payton. Now, kick returner, punt returner, nothing really too out of the ordinary here. You got Marvin Mims returning on both. And then on kick returner, Jaleel, which is what we've also seen is he's out there. But punt returner number 2 is actually Michael Bandy. That's something to keep an eye out for. And hopefully this isn't the case, but I don't see Michael Bandy making the roster. So what happens if Marvin Mims has to miss a game or two with an injury? Who is returning punts? I don't think it's going to be Courtney Jackson. That's going to be something to see what else happens. I would want to say maybe Troy Franklin, but y'all let me know, of course, in the comments. Now, let's get to the offense. Here, all our rookie wide receivers, Joaquin Davis, Jawan Newton, Kyrie's Rowan, as well as Pat Bryant and Courtney Jackson are all on the bottom of the roster, along with all of our rookie tight ends, the rookie offensive linemen there on the third team. And when we get to the defense, it's really the same thing. There were a couple other things that stuck out to me. One, Drew Sanders, he was, on PUP. Is he on PUP? Anyways, he's out for like 6 weeks or something like that, right? But I thought this was interesting that even though he's missing time due to injury, he is kind of put down on the depth chart onto the third team, whereas with Alex Singleton missing time due to injury and Levelle Bailey stepping in for him, you still see him there with his starting spot. So, yeah, really interesting. I'm going to project out a little bit. And then, of course, you see Jahdae Barron with the third team along with the rest of these guys. Now, this is how I fix the depth chart. This is how I think the real depth chart is going with, or what we're going with into San Francisco. And I've highlighted my main changes in green. So one thing that I did was elevated Pat Bryant up to the top 6 when it comes to the receivers. Brought Trent Sherfield, well, he's still in the top 6. But then Joaquin Davis up a little bit as well. Now, when it comes to the tight ends, I thought about putting my guy Caleb Lohner ahead of Lucas Kroll, but I decided not to because Lucas Kroll has actually been coming on in training camp a little bit over the past few days. So I think, Caleb Lohner being right there next to Caden Prescorn there at the bottom of the depth chart, I see that as legitimate. Now, I did move RJ Harvey into the running back 1 position. This might be projecting out a little bit, but it seems like him and J.K. Dobbins have pretty much exclusively split first team reps for the most part, with Jaleel kind of getting involved in like a spell basis. But we all know, man, you're not drafting RJ Harvey at 60th overall to throw him at the bottom of the depth chart. He is a starter for this team, or at the very least, he's a co-starter with J.K. Dobbins. I threw him in as that starter right there. Now, when it gets to the defensive side of things, I did make some other adjustments, like I alluded to, bringing up Savion Jones to the second team when it comes to the interior defensive line. I kept Owazurike with the second team as well, and moved Jordan Jackson to the third team alongside Matt Henningsen and Jordan Miller. I think that this is probably the 6 that right now we're going to carry on the 53, with Zach Allen, GJ Jones, and JFM starting, and then Savion Jones, Malcolm Roche, and Owazurike rounding out that group of 6. With the edge players, elevated Q Robinson to the third team, more so kind of likely being that 5th or 6th guy in the edge rotation. I think our top 4 right now is an absolute lock. Cooper Benito with Ellison Tillman being the primary backups, and Andrew Farmer and Q Robinson fighting for snaps and playing time. And shout out to Andrew Farmer. I think that he's been one of these guys kind of coming out of nowhere that has really impressed. And it might make the Broncos make a difficult decision on some other position groups to keep him on the roster. Andrew Mason has been very impressed with Andrew Farmer, saying he's making a legitimate case to be on this 53. So we might carry 6 edges and 6 defensive linemen. Maybe that's a hot take, but let me know. And then an inside linebacker, this is where I changed things up a little bit. I did like to see Justin Strnad, especially since we re-signed him with the second team. But I think for all intents and purposes right now, like Levelle Bailey is that starter. And he's going to get some good playing time here against San Francisco. We'll see what he ends up doing. But I think Levelle Bailey with Trey Greenlaw gives this defense so much more upside right now than Alex Singleton, or, again, Drew Sanders is just such a wild card, man. He can't stay healthy. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But I came into this camp thinking that, Alex Singleton's going to be on this roster. But the more and more we get from Levelle Bailey in terms of good news day after day, I think it makes it less and less likely we'll see him on this team. Now, the other thing that I did want to call out here that I guess I forgot to mention on the first depth chart, good to see Damari Mathis listed with the second team. And the 5280 podcast was talking about this yesterday, how Damari Mathis has actually had some very, very good days of camp and consistently has been playing some of his best football compared to what we've seen from him in the past couple of years. So I think that he's making an argument, whether it's on the active roster or somebody else's active roster, to show that he's still an NFL quality player. Even though we're absolutely stacked at the cornerback position, I wouldn't count Damari Mathis totally out right now, which is positive news. But I did move Jahdae Barron to the starting nickel ahead of Jaquan McMillan. He is getting first team reps, and that's just how it's going to be, man. When you take Jahdae Barron, the Jim Thorpe Award winner, there in the first round, you're going to be starting him unless, it's like a Paxton Lynch situation, which Jahdae Barron is not Paxton Lynch. So those were some of the other adjustments that I made. Now, this is slightly, I don't know if concerning, but this was like eye-opening. Sam Franklin Jr. signed with us as like mainly a special teams guy, but a guy that has had success playing safety in spurts in the NFL. This guy is listed below Keydron Smith and JL Skinner, right along with DTY. That's not good. I've had him kind of a lock to make this roster just because of him signing here, but maybe the $1 or $2 million contract that we signed him to was a little overblown. Maybe I was making too big of a deal by that, right? And then I noticed, to my dismay, that Devin Key is still listed as a second string safety alongside PJ Locke, who I know that has been a hot take with some people on Broncos country, but PJ Locke is making this roster, guys. I think he's making this roster. He's got a fused back now. He's invincible. JL Skinner there, I think you would have liked to see him take the next step and be listed right now as a second teamer, but seems like him and Keidron Smith still have some ways to go. So that's very interesting. Devin Key, PJ Locke holding on to their spots. Sam Franklin all the way down at the bottom of the depth chart. I didn't end up changing that because none of these guys are rookies, but I did find that to be kind of like eye-opening. And I think that just about, takes care of it when it comes to the depth chart. But yeah, man, Sean Payton, we all know what's going on. I don't agree with that thing where, hey, you got to make the rookies earn it. Nah, man. When you're already giving these guys second or first team reps, everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows where these guys stand, man. But I do appreciate Sean Payton because it does make a talking point for us for a couple days until, we get to the preseason games and whatnot. So is there anything that you guys would change? Let me know. Oh, hey, where'd my camera go? What the heck? Crawhaw, Rookie of the Year? Absolutely. Good call on this one. Sherfield will probably be the backup punt returner. That's a good one, man. Is Sean trying to motivate RJ? No, I don't think at all, man. Because, again, if he was trying to motivate him, why are you giving him, reps with the second team, right? First team. And I just feel like, man, this is just Sean Payton probably hates putting these out, and so he's just going to troll everybody to do it. That's how I feel about it. Man, I think it would be great if Caden Prescorn is tied in 3, but, man, we just haven't heard anything from him, Yeah. Yeah, I knew you were saying hope, but yeah, I think like right now, I'm gonna hope that Caleb Loner can make it. If Lucas Kroll is gonna make this difficult, I think we could hide Lucas Kroll though on the practice squad because he's just been so bad in the games last year. Jeremy coming in here saying Sean always buries the rookies on the depth chart. He even did it to Bo last season. You got to earn everything. No red carpets in Broncos country. My whole thing is I understand that before training camp starting, but we've been through this thing for what, week and a half now. We know what teams guys are playing on in practice, man. I just don't think it really serves a purpose with the locker room. I just think Sean hates doing these things, and he's just going to troll us for doing it. And just kind of like with some of these injury reports in the past. You know how Belichick always did that? You just always troll, throw Tom Brady on there with a shoulder. Victory lap. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, going to keep this a little bit shorter of a live stream, but this is how I fix it, man. RJ Harvey, Jahdae Barron, Levelle Bailey, Jeremy Crawhaw, these guys are starters for us, man. Don't get it twisted. Let's see if Pat Bryant can elevate himself into the top 4. But with what we've seen from Troy Franklin, I think that might be hard initially. But yeah, y'all have a wonderful night. I'll be back again tomorrow. Go Broncos.